Staying within the theme of connection, as we approach our first in-person meeting with our clients, that is one of our big goals, is how do we connect everybody in the room? And how do we connect to everybody in the room? And the best way that we have found to do this is something every one of you can do, which is you can incorporate storytelling and you can ask leading questions. And one of the questions we ask, and let's just say we have a family, we've got a dozen people in the room, almost all of them are married, there's a couple singles in the room. The first thing we ask is just to run the table and say, let's talk about how you met. Let's talk, in other words, as a married couple, how did you meet? And then we'll talk about, some other leading question about, when's the last time you connected with each one of the people in this room? And they'll talk through that. And what starts happening is you start developing this long storyline of people. There's these synapses in our brains that go off when people communicating with us or just when we go through life. And all of a sudden, one comment will bring back a memory of another situation. And you end up with a room full of people that could barely get in the room together and have a common interest, to now you got a room that you can't hardly even get to quiet down. Why? Because you're connecting them. You're asking questions, they're responding, and everybody in the room, siblings and parents alike, in-laws and outlaws alike, generation 1, 2, 3s, whoever's in the room, all of a sudden, you have now given them purpose to these relationships because they've been thinking of things that they simply have forgotten. And the easiest one is, how did you meet? What attracted you to each other? And for those that are single, who are you dating? What attracted you to them? Or siblings, when's the last time you connected? Et cetera, et cetera. So this idea of connection in a culture that is pretty fast paced and we don't take time to slow down, everybody is very busy, is just a huge piece. So I think the question I would ask is, how are you intentionally connecting with mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, with your spouse, with your siblings, with your kids? Because if it's not intentional in today's culture, there's a really good chance it's going to get passed by. So just that challenge goes out. We see it in our own family. We see it in our client work, that the lack of connection is almost hemorrhaging relationships across the board. But most importantly, your family is there for you. But if you're not connected to them, you cannot expect them to show up for you.